Ladies and gentlemen, I present to you Nick Old Soul Spencer Band.
Sometimes I can't forget that I loved you. Sometimes I can't forget that I loved you. You better hurry on down the road where your troubles can't be told. Sometimes your heartlessness astounds me. Sometimes your heartlessness astounds me. You better hurry on down the road where your troubles can't be told. Look at here, boy. On the road where your troubles can't be told. Sometimes a heartlessness astounds me. Sometimes the heartlessness astounds me. You better hurry on down the road where your troubles can't be told. Thank you so much. We are the Nick Old Soul Spencer Band. That's an original song. I'm so tired, baby, tired of this game. I'm tired, baby, tired of this game. Well, you know all the time now you're driving me right insane. I'm sitting here, baby, still missing you. My brain's off. Lord, there's nothing inside. 'Cause every day's the same and drive me right insane. Hey, boys, well, I wake up in the morning, I head out for the day. You emptied out my girl, and you moved in to stay. Brain off. Lord, there's nothing inside. 'Cause every day's the same and drive me right insane. Well, I can't stand it, baby. You always treat me wrong. I can't stand it, baby. You always treat me wrong. You're slow all the time down, days drag on and on. Well, I wake up in the morning, get out for the day. You emptied out my girl and you moved in to stay. Right now, Lord, there's nothing inside. 'Cause every day's the same and drive me right insane. Hey, boy. Lord, there's nothing inside. Cause everything to see, and they drive me right insane. Well, I ain't got nothing to do. While I'm sitting here, baby, just missing you. My brain's off. Lord, there's nothing inside. Cause everything to see, and they drive me right insane. I said I ain't got nothing to do. While I'm sitting here, baby, just missing you. My brain's off. Lord, there's nothing inside. Cause everything to see, I'm driving me right insane. Thank you. That's another original song called Brain Off. That was Come on, baby, I need to love you now. Come on, baby, I need to love you now. Well, you hurt me so bad, woman, when you moved across town. Come on, baby, you made the sky turn gray. Come on, baby, made the sky turn gray. Well, you hurt me so bad, woman, when you moved away. Let me tell you something about that boy. Oh, come on, baby, you made the sky turn gray. Come on, baby, you made the sky turn gray. Well, you hurt me so bad, woman, when you moved away. I want to hear some drums now. Come on, Sebastian. I said, come on, baby, I need to love you now. Come on, baby, I need to love you now. I said, you hurt me so bad, woman, when you moved across town. Thank you.
Hello and welcome to another edition of Talkin' Tunes. I am your host, Frank Walsh. Thanks for tuning in today. Now, as you can see, I have three handsome gentlemen on my right. And normally I don't bring people in better looking than the host, but because it's Thanksgiving, today is an exception. These gentlemen traveled all the way from New Hampshire to be here today. They are all 17 and 18 years old. They're in high school, but they have already burnt their mark on the music scene, not only around Massachusetts, but in New Hampshire. And if you keep your eyes on these guys, you will see that they're going to be spreading not all over Massachusetts and New England, they're going to be all over the country. So it gives me great pleasure to introduce to you Nick, Sebastian, and Jack. Welcome, guys.
Hey.
Hey,
Thanks for coming down today.
thanks for having us.
You know,
This is awesome.
Thanksgiving, right before Thanksgiving. Happy Thanksgiving to you all before I forget.
And you too.
Happy Thanksgiving to you too.
Thank you. But let's jump right in. And first of all, it's called the Nick Old Soul Spencer Band.
Yes, indeed.
You know, you're all in high school, correct?
Yep.
Yeah,
Well-
I'm in college.
You're in college? I thought,
yeah.
would you take an early?
I did high school in 3 years.
Good for you. Where'd you go to school?
Berkeley School of Music in
He's a
Boston.
nerd.
You couldn't get into a good school? You had to settle?
Yeah, I had to settle.
Good for you. Good for you. We'll get into that in a little bit. But why don't we start off about how you three guys got together? You know, you're kind of disparate.
Well, yeah.
Talk about how we got together. You can all jump in
Jack,
anytime you
wanna-
want.
Yeah,
Take the
that's a
floor.
good story. So Sebastian and I met first. We met at it was a music summer camp. It was UNH's Sims, which is a 9-day overnight summer camp. And so he was the drummer for that, and we got each other's digits, and we hung out a little bit over the summer. And then in the springtime, a bunch of people from Sims from Nick's school were like, "Hey, we need a bass player." And their little jazz combo didn't have a good bass player, and they were trying to do some fundraising for a Disney field trip that they were doing. And so they called upon me, and I drove out there, and I met this guy. And we did a little bit of jazz stuff together, and I saw that Nick did a little bit of blues stuff, and he's like, "Hey, you should come to Strange Brew Tavern sometime." And so I went with him, and I met people there and started getting involved in the blues scene. And then we dragged Sebastian into it somehow. I don't remember.
Yeah,
how.
so it was after Sims, you guys called me in the fall of, must have been 2023, for your jazz combo. It was Jack's combo. And so we played a few gigs. And then come February, all of us were in a big band with the Ted Herbert School of Music. And they rehearsed Sunday evenings. And so after one of the rehearsals, Nick invited me to go play at the Strange Brew Tavern, and we did a really good set, and so I've been coming most weeks since then. This is a jam every Sunday night.
How easy now? You mentioned jazz quite a bit. Now, what do you consider yourselves now? Do you consider yourself a blues band or a jazz band, or how would you consider yourselves?
Yeah. So when we're playing together, we're definitely playing blues.
You're a blues band. playing
We're a
together.
blues band. We can play jazz, and sometimes we will. But
Right.
when I'm with this guy,
Yeah.
he plays blues so good, you don't even want to play jazz.
Thank you. Yeah.
Yeah,
That's
no,
pretty cool.
Definitely,
now, Nikki, when you got involved in this, you took the name. It's like the Nick Spencer
Yeah.
Band. You're the one who
Yeah.
put it together, correct?
Yeah. pretty much.
Good for you. And where did the name Old Soul come from? They call
Yeah.
you Nick Old Soul.
Yeah. Well, the name was given to me by my good friend Mickey McGuire.
We know Mickey well.
And we do. And yeah, it was really just like one day. Well, I played with him at a fundraiser for the One Dime Band and myself when we were going to Memphis.
They've been on the show a
last
couple
year.
times.
Yeah, and Mickey was playing bass for that, and that's how we met. And then he invited me out to like another gig, and he put in the Facebook post, he put Nick Old Soul Spencer. I was like, what is?
Did you question
know,
him on that?
Well, a little bit. He didn't like ask me or anything. He just put it in. But it's stuck, and I think it's a good name.
Any idea why he did that? I have a hunch.
Yeah, I guess I'm an old soul.
Well, I think it's because that you're such a young guy.
Yeah.
And that you have such experience and a wealth of knowledge of your music that you're probably way beyond your years.
Appreciate
As far as your age.
Yeah.
So I think the old soul comes from the depth of knowledge and the way in which you play for 17-year-old kid, that you're way ahead of the curve.
Yeah.
I think that's where it comes.
Well, thank you.
Either that, or he could have just flipped a coin and said whatever lands on, heads and tails. Who knows?
Yeah.
But now, when you guys get together, how easy or difficult was it to put your music together and decide where you're going to play, not where, but how you're going to play, what songs are you going to play? There's a million pieces of catalog music out there. How do you pick your music? And do you do originals as well as covers? So jump in there wherever you want.
Yeah, I mean, well, we do a lot of originals, and we do a lot of covers, and generally it just comes down to I'll look at them and start a song, and I won't tell them which song.
Really?
We just go into it, because that's sort of, that's how Mickey taught me to do it, because that's real blues, and every once in a while one of these guys will sing, and then, they can do it that way too, or just fall in.
So if you're playing, a B.B. King song, you'll just start playing it?
Yeah.
No rehearsals, no set
And
list.
you guys
we
just
show
pick it
and
up.
Play.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Good for you. Kind of like how I do the show.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Why bother rehearsing?
Yeah.
But good for you. Now, as far as writing, who does the writing? You all write, and and you all write.
Pretty much, yeah.
Yeah. Well, these two write. I have a math brain, and words don't make sense to me. So.
So you
Yeah.
put the music together. How do you, which comes first, your music or your the lyrics or the music?
I'm not a very good lyrics guy, so if I were to write something, it would probably be without lyrics, and then one of these guys would throw lyrics on. Sebastian recently wrote one, and
Yeah,
it came out pretty
I've
good.
got into writing a bit more. How I think about it is I am inspired by other songs that I've heard, and so I'll just write lyrics and do, like the one song that I have written that we're working on, I just wrote it. It's very similar to like a traditional just shuffle.
So in other words, you're a plagiarist.
A little bit, a little bit. But
Is it music that anyway?
Yeah.
yeah,
I've
there's a
always,
little bit of sharing between musicians, but
It's not about what you steal; it's about how you steal it.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I like that. I'm going to steal that.
Yeah.
I'll use that on another show. Good for you. Now, do you guys have a musical background at all? Let's start down you. Do you have a musical background?
Yeah.
How did you get into music?
My family is a little bit musical. My parents both played in high school, and they would always play like Blues Brothers CDs when I was a little kid.
Okay.
And my mom, when I was really young, she pushed me into a lot of different things and just saw what would stick. So I did like baseball, hockey, soccer, and eventually drumming was something that I really liked. And so I took lessons on the snare drum since I was 5 years old, and I learned how to read and I learned how to play in an orchestra. And then I got a drum set, I want to say in 2017, and I would just play like pop, rock. I got lessons once a week, and I started playing jazz at the beginning of high school. I joined my school's jazz band, and I got really into that, and my current teacher is a jazz player. And I've only actually been playing blues since I met Nick and Jack, since they invited me to the Strange Brew Tavern.
Now, when you started playing drums, I assume you played at home.
Yeah.
How long before your parents stopped hating you?
Yeah, you'd have to ask them. Probably a good couple of years at least.
Because I've heard different stories about drummers playing in the house,
Yeah,
and
but,
oftentimes they try to get discouraged. It's like, don't play the guns, do drums, play the guitar, play something else, right?
Yeah, I don't know. My mom just signed me up for drum lessons because she thought I would
So
like
they
it.
didn't mind. I'm
Yeah.
only teasing you about that. But some people, when you're playing at home, I had a couple of friends of mine who were drummers, and when I was younger, and they drove their family crazy because it'd just be banging away at all hours of the day and the night.
Oh, I know my neighbor's kid who's like 8 years old. They just got him a drum set, and they're already thinking about selling it.
Well, your drum set room's like on the edge of your house, right?
Yeah, that's actually. My parents were looking to expand the house, and they were just like, we're going to expand our bedroom, and we're going to put a room under it and make the walls like 3 inches thick of concrete and soundproof the whole thing. Put your drum set in there.
Spoken like a true musician's parent, right? Yeah. What about you?
So my family is somewhat musical. My mom's side of the family is all vocal people, and they all, they're all very good singers. So
Any of them well known, or they play out or do anything out?
no, not super, not big into the music scene, but very passionate for the arts. And so, my mom cantors at our church, and they have all done things. They like sing in church choirs, or they, harmonize happy birthday songs. That's a big thing in our family. Because there's no, on that side of the family, there's always a harmonized happy birthday song.
Cool.
On my dad's side, they don't really have that. And so those happy birthdays are a little bit different, but it's okay. My dad played clarinet all the way through college.
Really?
And then I started playing bass, and when I was in like the 7th, 8th grade-ish, because I was in 7th grade, and my band teacher was like, hey, you play violin. Not anymore, you're going to play bass. And that's like how every bass player starts playing bass, because they're told to. It's a good origin story,
Yeah. Now, do you play other instruments beside the bass? Can you play the violin?
So I played the violin for 4 years before that, and I haven't really played it much. So you won't see me playing violin. Can I do it? A little
can
bit.
fake it.
I can fake
it.
it, you know. But yeah, so I got a bass in my hands right before that COVID pandemic happened, and I had a lot of spare time to start shedding. So
Cool.
yeah.
What about you, Mr. Old Soul?
Yeah, I mean, so my family is pretty musical. My dad used to be a jazz saxophonist. He hasn't played in years, but he was. And I'm the youngest of 7 kids.
Wow.
And every one of them, pretty much, has played some kind of instrument. My oldest brother is a classically trained piano player, and I've got like 2 guitar player brothers. My sister is a great singer. And another one of my sisters a dancer years ago, and so I sort of grew up around that, and I was signed up for lessons in guitar and piano when I was 6 or 7 years old at a place called BYPC in Bedford, and I didn't put a lot into it when I was like 7 years old, but I started sort of trying to get better at it. When I was like 12 or so, especially like during the COVID, I was just like sitting and like practicing guitar all day long. And I got the opportunity to like play out more just at like open mics until the Granite State Blues Society people saw me at the Rileys, and I did the IBC for them for the youth showcase.
Yeah, we can give a shout out to
last
them.
year.
We
Yeah,
had,
right?
Charlene,
Charlene and everyone there.
Yeah,
Great,
Rachel.
Yeah, and they I'm in debt to them forever, because I would not be anywhere close to the place I am now and the stuff that I've gotten to do without them, because they got me to do that IBC, and the fundraisers for those were some of my first gigs that I ever did anywhere. And that was like just a little over a year ago.
Right.
And I got picked up by Mickey and the Blues Express, and that's been
Not a bad pickup.
Yeah, great ride.
Well, Mickey's a great guy. He's a very, caring and compassionate guy. Certainly a protege of, what's the name? Oh my God, I just dropped the name. Luther.
Yeah.
Luther Guitar Johnson, protege of his. So you have good tutelage.
Oh yeah.
Now, what you say, there was 7 people, 8 people in your family?
I'm the
youngest of?
Youngest of 7. So
7,
I've got 6 older siblings.
And they all play musicians, so, I'm sure you've heard of the Jackson 5.
Yeah.
How come there's not like the Spencer 7?
I mean, we
get the Spencer 7, get together and...
every once in a while.
Have you done that?
We've tried to do things like that. We made, years and years ago, for Father's Day, a lot of my siblings, we all made a recording of Let It Be by the Beatles, and we gave it to our dad. We had my brother play piano, and then
Did you do harmonies on the vocals? I mean, like not harmonies, but individuals on the vocals, like bounce around, or no?
No, not really. We had my sister sing it. She's a beautiful singer. And
Nice.
I played some guitar. I did the solo. I was like 12 or 13.
Wow.
And if you listen back to it, it would be pretty amazing how far I've come since then. But yeah, it's great. I've been playing with them and jamming with my brothers, for forever.
Now, as far as the vocals go, do you all sing?
Yeah. I can, yeah.
Yeah.
You all sing. You all take turns being on the vocals.
Yeah.
So I
pretty
remember
much.
when I saw you up at the golf range. You know, another event from the the New Hampshire Blues Society. You guys killed it. You know,
thank you.
guys. That's how we met, right?
Yeah.
That's how we
right?
met.
Yeah.
You know?
That was awesome.
And that was a great day. Now, now I see you all over the place. I think you're probably a little bit more humble, and you can put your humility in your pocket a little bit. You've played with some pretty well-known people, and you've bounced into some pretty cool clubs. So why don't you
Yeah.
talk a little bit about how you got dispersed among all these people? You know, Tony Lynn Washington. You play with Mickey. You know, you play with everybody. So talk about how that started to spider web out for you.
Yeah, I mean, it was just sort of like a
Organic?
cascade,
Yeah.
you know, over this year, like because the more that I would go out and do open mics, the more people I would meet, and you know, when I got to I think about this all the time because I went to a Buddy Guy concert sometime like in the early summer, maybe late spring, I'm
Right.
not sure. Or maybe earlier than that, but I was there and Mickey also happened to be there with Frankie and Harrison and all the guys
Yep,
in the Blues
Bodie, yep.
Express. And I wasn't in the band at that time. I was just there. I was with my friend William and my parents. And like I was walking back to my car and I got a call from Mickey. He said, "Come behind the venue, you know, and you can meet everybody." And I got to meet Tom Haimbridge.
Tom
and
Hayward,
like,
yep. Great drummer.
Yeah, right.
Great
And-
guy, too.
Yeah, great guy, great songwriter.
Yeah, oh, yeah.
Unbelievable.
Yeah.
And
Did you
like
meet
that,
Buddy?
I didn't get to meet Buddy. I didn't get to meet Bobby Rush was on that gig, but I didn't meet him either. But
Bobby's
you know,
a cool
I
guy.
did, yeah.
He's
like,
a hot ticket.
Yeah, you know, I met Greg Guy after another Buddy Guy show once.
Well, Buddy's afraid, you know, with his age, you know, with the COVID, he was afraid of catching anything. You
Yeah,
know? I mean, right
yeah.
after COVID, he was still in his mask all the time. When he wasn't playing, he was in his mask.
Yeah, I mean, I don't blame him. You know, you want to be safe at that age, and
Yeah.
you know, but just because like I got that call from Mickey and I went behind, like I got to meet everybody and he gave me a gig at the Tower Hill Tavern in Laconia. He was like, "What are you doing tomorrow night?" I said, "I'm free." And so I got to go play the Tower Hill. That was like, again, one of the first gigs that I ever did, and it just because like I didn't leave early. If I had, I wouldn't have gotten that gig. And the fact that I did that was like one of the things that got Mickey thinking that I could join the Blues Express, which I'm incredibly grateful for. Because through
You're
that,
playing with them now?
yeah, I'm playing with them like any gig.
Wow.
You know, as long as I can make it, any gig I'm on.
Awesome.
Which is great, and we got to do the White Mountain Boogie main stage, and we did the Briggs Farm and Niagara Falls Blues Festival.
I almost went to that.
Yeah.
I was there a couple of weeks after that.
Yeah.
You know, I couldn't make it for that, but my wife and I, who's in the audience today, we made it up to Niagara and we saw that venue.
Yeah.
You know, hopefully
Yeah.
we'll make it another year.
Oh yeah.
Cool. Well, awesome. Now it's time for you, young man, to put your humility in your pocket because I did, you know, probably 30 seconds of show prep, and I noticed that you have many commendations and you played with some pretty cool people and you are kind of well known at a young age in the jazz field. So talk about that a little bit.
Yeah,
How'd
so
that happen? What's going on with you on that?
the jazz scene is a great scene.
It is.
I really enjoy
It's,
it.
it's hard to find, just to interrupt for a second.
Yeah.
I go back to the days when you could turn on your radio and have 2 or 3 or 4 jazz stations.
Right.
No more, unless you go on a satellite radio.
Right, and then
So,
it was 67 is the only jazz station that I know. It's XM channel 67.
wow.
It's real jazz. Go check it out. I love
They
it.
have a couple of them. They have real jazz. They have the traditional jazz and the modern jazz. You know, the Rick Brons and
Yeah.
all of those guys. And then they have the real, real jazz
Yeah.
from way back when, Coltrane and all that.
Yeah, so for my birthday this year, which was about a couple weeks ago, my parents got me a Sirius XM subscription for my truck, and so
Nice.
I've been listening to that jazz station pretty much every morning, or whenever I'm in the truck, and it's good. I love listening to jazz, and It speaks to me. Blues speaks to me too.
Mm-hmm.
But I feel like I've been pretty successful in the jazz scene.
Talk about that. You've
Yeah.
got some awards and you've played with some really cool people.
So I recently placed top in the state for bass playing. So I got the New Hampshire All-State top bass score, which was a good, awesome achievement. And you know, I've done a lot of other things. I played with the Ted Herbert Community Band, like these guys did, and I also ran my own big band, and I still do. It's called the Perimeter Jazz Ensemble. It's
Cool.
a 19-piece jazz big
Wow.
band. And
Still 19?
It's still 19. Yeah, we've had a couple guys, in and out, but.
How'd you put all that together? Did you put it together, or they
I
pulled
did.
you in? You
I
put
pulled-
it together.
I put it together. So
Wow.
the story behind that was sophomore year in high school, I made it into Jazz All-State. And I played with the group, and I was like, holy crap, this group is awesome. It was the best big band I've ever played with. And I was like, all right. And so I networked a little bit, and I got some people's numbers, and I ended up calling them all, and I said, the year after, I was like, hey, I really enjoyed playing with you. I want to play with you more than one weekend a year. Let's do something and make it like every other week. And so I asked one of my high school band directors, I said, hey, can you manage this group for me? And he's like, this guy and his weird ideas, man. But he stuck with it, and I'm very fortunate he did, because this group has been awesome. So
Nice. Where do you play? I have not heard of it. Where do you play?
yeah, so
Not too many places can hold 19-piece band.
yeah, so last year we did a concert at Manchester Community Music School.
Okay.
But this year we're doing some more stuff. We're doing a private event at Sebastian School, and then we're doing. We're going to try and work with the New Hampshire Jazz Orchestra to do a joint concert, and then at the end of the year, sometime in May, we're going to do May 18th at noon. We're going to be at the Rex Theater. Tickets are on sale if you look up Perimeter Jazz Ensemble Rex Theater. You should be able to find a link for tickets.
Cool.
But yeah, so also worked with the New Hampshire Jazz Orchestra. I sat in for a couple songs in their last big Veterans Day show,
Nice.
which sold out the Rex Theater. which
Nice.
is awesome.
Nice. Now, where are you going to go to college?
I don't know. I would love to go to music school. My wallet does not want me to go to music school.
Scholarships. With your credentials and your background, apply for scholarships, my man.
So I am applying to a lot of schools too.
Berkeley would probably eat you up.
Yeah, I hope so.
Did you get a scholarship?
I did.
If this bum can, so can you.
Yeah, right?
There's hope for anybody else.
And they've got 50 million guitarists. They only got about 5 bass players in the
That's
whole damn
true.
school.
Yeah.
So.
That's all you got to do, man.
So-
Just,
So I've applied to 13 schools of the music program.
Berkeley among them.
Berkeley is among them. I've done 2 auditions. Berkeley is also among those 2. I accidentally scheduled my audition right after Classical All-State. And so I had an 8:30 a.m. Classical All-State audition, which was the first one of the day. And then I drove to Boston and did a 10:30 a.m. Berkeley audition. So that wasn't stressful at all. But yeah, so trying to think. Yeah. So I'm going to let the money decide where I'm going to school.
Cool.
UNH has recently announced that they're giving up to full scholarships for bass students there. So that is absolutely huge. But yeah,
It'll happen, my man. It'll
hope so.
happen. Your turn. Blow your horn a little bit.
So I have not played nearly as much as these guys.
All right, the heck with you then. Let's go back.
But I didn't start playing out as much. I didn't have as much confidence. I was not I was a hobby musician through middle school and the beginning of high school, and then towards the end of high school, I decided that music is the direction that I wanted my life to go in. So I did a few one-off gigs summer going into my sophomore year. I met some people over the summer. And then sophomore year, I just did a lot of practicing. I do this camp that's hosted at my school called Interplay Jazz Camp, and there I met a lot of really cool people, among them Matt Wilson and Jasmine Horn and James Francis, who are all huge names in jazz. And I've played a lot with these guys, a lot of gigs with these guys, and then with the East Bay Jazz Ensemble, which is a big band around White River Junction.
Sure.
Aside from that, haven't played out too much, but I'm trying to get really tight with these guys, and hopefully this band will take me somewhere.
Oh, I'm sure it will.
And then next year, I've been accepted to Berkeley, so I'm going there with Nick.
And you're worried.
What's that?
I said, and you're worried about getting into Berkeley.
Yeah, it's a paying for it part that's tricky.
You get a scholarship, Don't
hope
think.
so.
You just say, when I get my scholarship, manifest it.
Yeah.
Now, we mentioned blues and we mentioned jazz. How easy or difficult is it to switch off when you're playing some blues and then you shift into jazz? And I've talked to different musicians about that, and we're talking apples and oranges here in some respects.
Yeah.
How easy or difficult is it to make those transitions when you're playing, let's say, for half an hour blues and say, hey, let's throw in a couple of jazz tunes?
Yeah.
Do you have to reprogram your brain, or does it come natural to you?
So, for me, switching between genres is pretty difficult, and like on the fly. I learned that when I was auditioning or practicing to audition for my one of my auditions at the University of Southern Maine.
Okay.
And so they had me to do a classical portion and then a jazz portion, and it was tricky going between those two. Jazz and blues is even harder to switch between because they both have very similar roots. Like jazz was, founded
Jazz
from blues.
led into the blues.
Yeah, and so if I'm playing blues, and then I switch to jazz, my jazz becomes very bluesy. Or if I'm playing jazz and then I switch to blues, my blues becomes very jazzy. And so it's very difficult for me personally to put a clear line in between the two genres, even though they are very separate.
Now, what is it? What about as a drummer? Because I had Professor Harp, Hugh Holmes, if you know Professor Harp. He was on my show years ago. He was on with our friend Holly Harris, whom we all know. And I was asking him a similar question, and he was kind of, in his typical Hugh Holmes way, he said, jazz people, they just play a lot of notes. He goes, they play a lot of notes.
Yeah.
He goes, that's blues guys, we don't play a lot of notes. You agree with
true.
that?
That's
agree with that?
That's for sure.
Now, as far as the drummer, drummer is the same way, totally different riffs, totally different rhythms.
Yeah, in terms
How easy
of-
or difficult for you?
When I first started, because I've been playing jazz much longer than I've been playing blues, and I still consider myself better at jazz than I am at blues. And when I first started playing blues, I was trying to do too much. And since then I've learned, you got to really have a strong pocket, a really good groove, and just hold it down for the rest of the band. And switching to jazz is not that hard. The more I learn about the roots of each genre, and the more I practice each genre, and the more I play each genre, the easier it gets to switch. And I think I'm in the same boat as Jack. If I'm playing a lot of blues and then I switch to jazz, it sounds more like blues, especially in soloing more than anything else. My solo is very distinct between each genre and it's hard to switch. Mm-hmm. But in terms of switching just the time feel, it's not really that hard.
Okay.
It's just I got to make sure when I go to blues that I don't do too much. When I do jazz, it's more open to conversation between the musicians.
Cool. Now, with the trio, I have many musician friends, and I talk, similar different conversations. And one of the things that has come up, and I'll let you two fight it out. And I talk with a drummer, and the drummer will say, the drummer drives the band. The drummer controls the band and drives the rhythm and everything. And then I had a bass player say, the bass takes the lead, and it's the bass that drives the band.
Yeah.
What do you
go
say
first,
about
or you want
that?
me to go first? 'Cause I got an idea what to say here.
You can go first. I'll think.
So, whenever somebody asks me that question,
You mean that wasn't an original question?
a lot of
come
people. A lot of
on.
people are interested.
Come on.
Because a lot of people
Humor the host.
a lot of people say that the drummer is driving the bus.
Right.
And, I like to think that the drummer is. Have you ever seen that scene in the Minions where it's the two Minions in the car? One of them's on the gas pedal and one of them's steering.
Yeah.
And so I like to think as the drummer's the gas pedal, I'm the one on top steering.
Okay.
So, You know,
Which of those two is more important?
it's
If you had to rank them 1, 2, 2, 1, which would you put number 1 and which would you put 2?
It's a
The
tie
guy
for
steering
first.
the bus or the guy with his foot on the gas?
it's a tie for first.
Yeah. You need both to drive a car. I've never seen anyone.
I
do
Your,
do-
that.
I-
your
steering
wheels
wheel.
are spinning down there. Jump in.
I agree with Jack. I think it is both the drummer and the bass. Like the groove is built from the ground up with the drums and the bass. If I switch the groove, if he switched the groove, the song changes completely. I think tempo-wise, bands tend to listen more to the drummer. But if the bass is dragging real heavy, the band is going to drag.
Okay.
So I think there's a lot of control between the bass and the drums, but I think it's
You
split
look at each other, you trade off on each other, you constantly communicate.
Yeah, no, we're very, Jack and I have been playing for over a year now, so we're pretty locked in. We play a lot.
I'll scream at him things like, "You messed that up," or "Slow down."
What do you say, guitar boy? You're the one who's up there shredding and riffing. I'm sure that you're kind of in the front. How many times do you have to look over your shoulder?
Oh,
and,
he gives us mean
either
looks.
compliment,
Oh, yeah.
or scold.
I don't know.
Sometimes he hasn't screamed in the mic yet, but sometimes.
No, I don't.
Last time I was playing with him, I was playing with a different drummer, not Sebastian. This drummer, he was playing a little bit fast, and Nick turned around in the middle of the song and yelled, "Slow down!" And we slowed down. It works. That tough love stuff.
Yeah. I remember we were playing, so Nick has this one song, Brain Off, and it's a rock song, and it's really, really, really fast.
Yeah.
And we were playing it, and it was at the very last song in our set because he just wanted to kill us. And so I had started dragging it, maybe like 10 clicks. And Nick, into the mic, goes, "Come on, let's get it back up." I speed it way up, faster than we started. He's like, "That's
Cool.
where I started it."
Yeah.
Well,
Or sometimes he'll just look back and give me a real mean look, and
Yeah.
I'll have to infer what he means.
Yeah.
Well, I'm going to paraphrase an old joke that people are going to kill me, especially my wife who's in the studio, by saying it again, is that you hired him for his looks, but not the ones he's been giving you lately.
That's a good one. Yeah. I might have to borrow that.
You could
Yeah.
steal that one. The
Yeah.
guy I took it from was glad to get rid of it. So here's what we're going to do. I think it's about time that we, take a little break and have the people at home listen to some of your music instead of talk about it. And then we're going to come back and talk a little bit about maybe the direction of your music, where you're going to go from here, because I think we've talked about the past. Let's start talking about the future when we come back, okay?
Walking my baby, she got a great big feet, big long legs and nothing to eat. She my baby, I love her just the same. Well, I love you, that woman. Caledonia is her name. Hey boys, Caledonia, Caledonia. What makes your big head so high? I love her just the same. I love you, that woman. Caledonia is her name. I love my baby like the finest wine. Love that woman till the end of time. She my baby. I love her just the same. But I love you, that woman. Caledonia is her name. Hey boys, Caledonia, Caledonia. What makes your big head so high? I love her just the same. I love you, that woman. Caledonia is her name. Let me tell you something about my girl. Caledonia, Caledonia, what makes your big head so high? I love her just the same. I love you, that woman. Caledonia is her name. We need some help on this part. 'Cause I'm crazy about you, baby.
Crazy about you, baby.
Crazy about about you, baby.
I'm crazy about you, baby.
Crazy about you, baby.
I'm crazy about you, baby.
Crazy about you, baby.
I'm crazy about you, baby.
I'm crazy about the woman. Caledonia is her name. Caledonia, Caledonia. What makes your bacon so hot? Love her. I love her just the same. I love you, that woman. Caledonia is her name. Let me tell you something, boy. Caledonia, Caledonia. What makes your bacon so hot? I love her. I said I love her just the same. I love you, that woman. Caledonia is her name. Need some help? 'Cause I'm wild about you, baby.
I'm wild about you, baby.
Wild about you, baby.
I'm wild about you, baby.
Wild about you, baby.
I'm wild about you, baby.
Wild about you, baby.
Wild about you, baby.
I'm wild about the woman. Caledonia is her name. So I'm crazy about you, baby.
I'm crazy about you, baby.
Crazy about you, baby.
I'm crazy about you, baby.
Crazy about you, baby.
I'm crazy about you, baby.
Crazy about you, baby.
I'm crazy about you, baby.
I'm crazy about the woman. Caledonia is her name. Thank you. That's a Muddy Waters tune. I learned that from Bob Margolin personally.
Walking by myself, I hope you'll understand. I just want to be a loving man. Love you, yes, I love you, all my heart and soul. Would mistreat you for my weight in gold. You know I love you. You know it's true. Give you all of my loving. What more can I do? Walking by myself, I hope you'll understand. I just want to be a loving man. What you got, Nick? You know I love you. You know it's true. Give you all of my loving. What more can I do? Walking by myself, I hope you'll understand. I just want to be a loving man. Let me chirp out something. You know I love you. You know it's true. Give you all of my loving. What more can I do? Walking by myself, I hope you'll understand. I just want to be your loving man.
That every day I have to lose. Every day I have to lose. It's you I worry about. It's you I hate to lose. Nobody loves me. Nobody seems to care. I said, nobody loves me, baby. Nobody seems to care. Well, you talk about hard luck and trouble, baby. Well, you know I've had my share. Come on, Jack. Said every day,
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 every day.
every day I have the blue, baby. Come on. I'm gonna pack up my suitcase. I'm gonna move on down the line. I like baby. I'll pack up my suitcase. Move on down the line. Where there ain't nobody worried, baby. Ain't nobody crying. Said every day,
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 every day.
every day.
Every day I have the blues, baby. Said it's you I hate to lose. Come on, boys, let's get out of here. One, two, one, two. Said I'm flipping and flopping like a fish out in the sea. I'm flipping and flopping like a fish out in the sea. I ain't got nobody in this whole wide world for me. But I walked all night before. When walking all night before. I can't find my baby, I'll be walking some more. Said I'm flipping and flopping like a fish out in the sea. I'm flipping and flopping like a fish out in the sea, girl. I ain't got nobody in this whole wide world for me. That's our true Sebastian is right here. flopping like a fish out in the sea. I'm flipping and flopping like a fish out in the sea. I ain't got nobody in this whole wide world for me. I said right here, baby, sit down on my knee. Said right here, baby, sit down on my knee. You got something down there that's a bugging the hell of me. So I'm flipping and flopping like a fish out in the sea. I'm flipping and flopping like a fish out in the sea. I ain't got nobody in this whole wide world for me. Hey, Sebastian, are you still here? I'd like to thank everybody watching this. We are the Nick Old Soul Spencer Band, everybody here in the studio, and everyone watching at home on the video. I'd like to thank everybody that helped us get here. Obviously, this song is for Mickey and for Luther and for Frankie and for Harrison and for everyone in the Blues Express. And I'd like to thank the Granite State Blues Society, Charlene, everyone involved there, Debbie and Rachel. And you know, I'm so grateful to these guys, Jack and Sebastian, for putting up with me when we're playing music here. You know, both of these guys were jazz musicians. We talked about it a lot in that interview. And we've really made some good blues guys out of them. So I'm going to tell you a little story now, just like Mickey does when he sings this song, about a girl that he used to know. And maybe it's not a true story from my life, but I think we can probably all apply it in some way or another. Here we go. I said I got a woman and she's so mean to me. I said I got a woman and she's so mean to me. Better smarten up, baby, cause you only get one of me. But I drive around town in my 55 is what usually thing that I ever did see tonight. So glad you're my baby, cause all you wanna do is fight, girl. Said I got a woman and she's so mean to me. I got a woman and she's so mean to me. Better smarten up, baby, cause you only get one of me. Well, she put me in the doghouse for what? I don't know. Just should have brought clothes and a brand new radio. Well, she said she wanted to leave me, but she got no place to go yet. Said I got a woman and she's so mean to me. Said I got a woman and she's so mean to me. Better smarten up, baby, cause you only get one of me. Let's squeeze out a little something more. right, boys. Said I got a woman and she's so mean to me. Said I got a woman and she's so mean to me. Baby, got me, baby, 'cause you only get one of me.
So let's pick up a little bit where we left off. I was asking Mr. Nick here about he got the nickname Old Soul. I was remiss in asking you how he got your nickname, Captain Jack.
So the whole
Keep
story.
in mind, this is a family show.
It has nothing to do with the Billy Joel song.
I like him. He laughs at my jokes.
Yeah.
You can come back again, the two of you. See you later. Come back as a solo the next time.
Yeah, we'll do it. We'll do it.
Go ahead.
Might have to just bring him on for the music part.
Yeah, just I think for the looks, if nothing else, right?
For the looks, yeah. No.
But not the one they just gave me.
Yep. No, Sebastian's got a pretty drum kit over there, I'll tell you.
He does. He
Very
does.
beautiful.
Sounds pretty good too. So go ahead, tell your story,
Circling
Captain
back,
Jack.
yeah. So it's a nickname my great aunt gave me. She's one of my favorite people to hang around.
What's her name? Give her a shout out.
Her name is Lindy Nevi. I love you, Aunt.
There you go.
And so you've met her.
Yeah.
So she has a place down in Virginia, and she's got two places. She's got a place, more centralized to Richmond, and then she's got a place on the ocean. And every year my family would go down for a week and hang out with her at the beach. And her husband, she's got some sons that hang out around there as well. But ever since day one of my life, I've always been really in love with driving or anything that has a motor. I'm a gearhead. And my uncle has a boat. I'd always ask him to let me drive the boat. So sometimes, when I was really little, he'd point the boat in a straight line. And he'd say, "Keep it in a straight line," and I would, because we'd go out to the ocean and then do some fishing. And then when I got older, they would always call me Captain Jack, like Captain Jack Sparrow. My hair wasn't. I had long hair, but it wasn't quite that long.
That's from the movie, right?
Yeah,
Jack Sparrow.
Pirates of the
There
Caribbean.
you go, Parrots. Yeah.
And I ended up getting my boating license, so I do have a boating license.
Cool.
And yeah, it's just kind of taken off. But my aunt is a very awesome and generous person, so is my uncle. And Nick and I and a couple of his friends from his school, it was that little jazz combo that we were talking about earlier is how we met.
That's how I met Jack.
And so we took that group and we decided, hey, we're going to go to New Orleans for Jazz Fest. And my aunt requires that I call it Nolans. So if she's watching, I hope she's smiling.
Nolans, right?
Nolans. And so we drove down, and she was generous enough to let us spend the night at her place while we were going. And boy, was that a drive.
Yeah. 2 days of full
Wow.
driving all the way down
Yep,
in Jack's
so-
truck.
Wow.
It was a lot of good memories.
Good
A lot of
weather though. Do you have good weather? Or?
Yeah, it was.
That's a
sunny day.
big difference when there's good weather.
Yeah, end of April, all
Yeah.
sunny, no rain.
Nice.
Yeah.
A lot of good stories from that trip.
Right? Yeah, it was a great festival.
Did you meet some famous people down there? Did you get noticed?
Yeah, well,
little bit.
so
Yeah,
there was a blues tent at the festival, and Nick knew the artist because you met him. Where'd you meet
Yeah,
him?
I met him at the IBCs. It was Mr. Sip.
Mr. Sip.
I don't
absolutely.
I shouldn't say I know him, but I met him
Yeah.
at the IBCs. He did some kind of like a workshop for guitarists, and so I saw that he was performing. I was like, yeah, I gotta go see him, and I caught him after the show, and it seemed like he maybe did remember me. Actually, I said I was at the IBCs. I said, oh yeah, and I got a signed CD.
Nice.
Yeah. Well, you missed the better part of the story.
that?
So during
Oh,
the
yeah.
show, he he had like a Bluetooth pickup on his guitar, so he walked through the crowd and was playing the guitar. And so Nick was like following with his phone, trying to get a video in. And I said, Nick, let me pick you up. So I picked him up. I put him on my shoulder.
Really?
Yeah.
Do you have a picture of that?
I don't know. I think we might somewhere.
Probably.
That's cool.
Sophia might have a picture of that.
Yeah.
She's like,
Yeah.
That's cool.
yeah.
That's cool. Now you guys you're young. I mean, I'm not used to talking to people who I'm saying, oh, gee, you're a '70s child or you're an '80s child. You guys are a millennium children. You're in the twos now.
2007.
What's your influences? Go back. Who are some of your blues influences? Where'd you get your chops and who do you listen to?
Yeah.
And where did that blues come from?
Yeah, I mean, for me, it all. I mean, like most guitarists, I was playing for years, and then I discovered Stevie Ray Vaughan, and then I discovered more.
If I had a nickel for everybody who goes back to Stevie Ray, I'd have a lot of nickels, man.
Right, but I was very lucky to connect with Brian Templeton of the Delta Generators. If you know
Know him well.
right? He was my good friend Yaya. He's her dad.
Wow.
And so it was just a crazy coincidence that her dad happened to be a great blues musician, a harmonica player, and so I got to play at his farm once, and I was talking with him, and he basically told me, you're pretty good, but every guitar player tries to be Stevie Ray Vaughan. Don't try to be Stevie Ray Vaughan. He told me listen to Albert King.
That's great advice.
Freddie King. He put me on all this stuff, and so I got really into Albert King.
Albert King's my favorite.
Right? Oh yeah, he's great. And then from there, it just sort of again, the more I've done it, the more I've learned, and the more I've gotten into more stuff. And I never got to meet Luther Guitar Jr. Johnson, but I've listened to all of his records, and I know all these stories from Mickey and from Frankie, and so I can definitely say he's a massive influence on me. And Frankie as well. From the Blues Express is he's a massive influence, and
What do you think of the the Bonamassas of the world? Joe Bonamassa and the Shredders, if you would.
Yeah.
Would you consider yourself a shredder?
I wouldn't. I
wouldn't?
try to no.
I've seen you shred though.
Yeah, I mean
You got lightning fingers
yeah,
there, kid.
Yeah. I'd say this. I do. I think there's nothing wrong with playing fast, and I do quite often.
What's the difference between
but-
playing fast and being a shredder, if there is
Yeah,
one?
I'd say.
What's the difference?
Yeah, well, being a shredder, I think it's about just trying to impress the audience, trying to show your skill on the guitar, and there's nothing really wrong with that. But I try to convey a musical idea, and a lot of people say, try to use as few notes as possible, and then obviously the shredders are using as many notes as
Correct.
possible. I think both of those philosophies, I'm not totally sold. I just want to try to play just what I think the music needs, and what I think, I try to convey energy, it's quiet and soft in one part and louder and more intense in another. And if that's faster here or slower there or faster here, and I think that I try not to think about that so much.
You're still developing, obviously, because of
Yeah.
your age. You're way ahead of the curve. But have you pictured yourself of what kind of an identity that you want? That when people look at you and say, "Hey, that's Nick. He is." Have you put together an identity yet of how you want to be seen? When someone thinks of you, they throw a concept together. Have you done that yet?
I guess so, yeah.
And what would that be? What would just throw a couple of words,
Yeah.
2 words if you would,
Yeah.
maybe 3.
2 words.
2 words
All right,
of
I've got 2
how you would
words.
want to be identified.
Yeah, old soul. I think that's what I try
I
to go
saw
for.
that
That
one
was
coming
too
up.
easy, man. I tell you,
Yeah,
I led
you
with
set
my
me
chin
up for
on that
that.
one, and he just came in and threw the right hook.
Yeah,
I led with my chin on that
right?
one.
Yeah, but I mean
That's a
that,
good one, though. I mean, that
think-
makes sense to
yeah.
you, though.
Yeah.
But and I think that's, as you get older, right now, there's that dichotomy because of your age and your experience.
Yeah.
Somewhere along the line, that's going to catch up.
Yeah.
And then I think it would have more validity, with the true meaning of that coming in. Right now it's almost like a fun thing. It's like, hey, he's the old soul.
Yeah.
But I think there's going to come a time when that becomes solidified.
Yeah.
and that whole concept that's built around it
Yeah.
is going to hit people rather than just the words.
Yeah.
They're going to
Yeah.
feel it rather than think it.
Yeah.
Right? That makes sense?
Yeah, I mean that's the idea. That's what I'm always trying to do, and it's for real. And I'm trying to just play music for the rest of my life. I don't intend on doing anything else. I don't have any other kind of goal.
Cool.
And,
Protect those
I want
fingers,
people
man.
as long as I don't like get in an accident, But yeah, I want people to connect with
Cool.
the music and see what I want them to see. Which is,
What about you? Piggyback on that.
Ooh.
How do you want to be
so-
seen? Where do you want to take your music, and how do you want to be seen? When people look at you, what do you want your identity to be?
I don't know. I
You're
haven't really.
lucky you get to think about it.
Yeah, this guy gets to think about it more.
I get all the time in the world.
yeah.
So I really enjoy playing music, and I want to do it full time. And I'm trying to start to make a name for myself, and I want people to be like, oh, I like this bass player. He's really good musician, but I also want to be known as like someone who's fun to hang around with, not somebody who you call for the gig and only the gig, and you're like, okay, I don't want to eat lunch with this guy during break on this
So
gig.
you want to be kind of like the appointment viewing.
Yeah.
When people go there, they're going to say, wow, he's playing.
Yeah.
Or he's
I
playing.
think that would be awesome.
He's playing, and that's an identity thing. Like, you mentioned names like, you mentioned like Sax Gordon,
yeah.
right? He's got
Right.
the identity.
Oh, yeah.
You mentioned,
Brilliant.
even Brian Templeton. He's got that identity. You know what you're going to get.
Yeah.
And I think that will form with you. And I think when you are able to, hang your hat on that, I think that will manifest itself more through your music.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
yeah.
Your turn, young man.
So I've always been told by all of my mentors to just focus on learning and not focus on like having your own sound, because that will develop as I improve and as I grow. So I don't really focus on that much. I just try to be a good player. I try to put myself in situations where I will get noticed. I try to play out as much as possible. I try to hang around with people after I play.
Just be a sponge
so-
right now. You
yeah,
wanna be
yeah,
a sponge
for
and
sure.
take it
Just
all
like
in.
learn as much as possible, meet as many new people as possible, and I figure as I age, as I grow, I'll develop my own sound, and people's perception of me will develop around that. So I just
Cool.
try to be, the best musician and best person I can be.
Cool. Now, if you, I'll go around the horn here, and then, if you could pick any person, living or dead, who you could sit on a park bench with and have a conversation with, who would it be? Jump in, any of you.
Yeah.
Ooh. So I'm gonna go first. I would pick. He's a bass player. He passed a while back, but his name's Niels Hemming Orsted Peterson.
Never heard of him.
Not many people have. I
Why
think
is
he
he
was
special?
one of the best jazz bass players in existence. His playing on the upright is so fluid; it just feels so natural. Like watching him play, he just goes up and down it. I first learned about him. I was listening to a cover of "On Green Dolphin Street." It was from Dexter Gordon. It was on the album "Lullaby for a Monster."
I
it
know
was,
Dexter Gordon, yeah.
Yeah, it was Dexter Gordon. It was Niels Hemming, and then it was a drummer. I don't remember the drummer's name, but it was a great drummer. And I was like, this guy is awesome. So I, did a little bit more research, and he played with a guitar player. I'm spacing on his name right
Joe
now.
Pass.
Joe Pass.
Joe Pass,
So he
yeah.
did a lot of stuff with Joe Pass, and him and Jacko were around about the same time. And
Jaco Pastorius.
Yep. And so a couple of years before, Niels put out a cover of Donna Lee where he's playing it much faster than Jacko is. And I think it's a lot more impressive because Jacko was not playing it on an upright. And an upright, it's a great instrument, but once you get into that higher register, you have to work around the instrument. Like a guitar, you just keep moving your hand up. But the bass is so big, you have to like lean over awkwardly, and
So you'd pick his brain.
I would pick his brain. I'm interested to see who he was inspired by for his playing, because I know I'm inspired by him and a handful of other
Couldn't you
artists.
find that out through research? Google him up, find out.
He didn't do a lot of interviews or
Really?
things like that. So he was He was more of a sit down and play type of guy.
Yeah, I mean, I called him to be on the show, and he said, nah,
Yeah.
he doesn't do interviews. I hate when that happens.
Yeah. Well,
But
Poor
good
guy.
for you.
Yeah.
Good for you. Your turn. You've had a few minutes to think about that. This better be good.
It's difficult.
No pressure.
It's difficult. I think if I had to pick one, it would probably be Art Blakey. He's one of my favorite drummers of all time, and I think his story is so interesting because one of the best drummers of all time, was never taught. He's completely self-taught, and I want to talk to him about that. I want to talk to him about how he started the Jazz Messengers.
Believe it or not, I pulled out Jazz Messengers last night, and my wife and I were sitting at the table, and she's saying, "Who's this?" And I said, "The Jazz Messengers."
Oh, yeah.
There was CD, a part 1, part 2, a live double CD, and I just pulled it out of my collection and threw it on, and there it was. So small world
Yeah.
right there.
Yeah.
No, I love the Jazz Messengers. They're probably my favorite jazz group of all time. It's either them or... No, it's definitely them. I don't... Like, especially, like, I love the Big Beat, their original record, the Jazz Messengers, and a bunch of their live stuff is just so good.
You
And
talk about playing a lot of notes. Some of the stuff, they play a lot
yeah.
of notes.
Oh, yeah.
You know.
But it's some of my favorite jazz of all time. I definitely I would want to talk to Art about his group.
Cool. Now, where do you want to take your music? Like right now, you're still kind of, putting things together. You've been together for a year. Have you laid out a plan of where you're going to take your music? You obviously are planning on sticking together, right? I'm assuming
Yeah.
you're going to stick together and grow together. But have you put a little roadmap of where you want to go with your music and how that's going to develop?
Yeah, a little bit.
Go for it.
Yeah, I mean, so we've started working on actually an album with these guys.
Cool.
And like a couple other, we have a horn section that we're trying to get together, and we'll try to make a whole like big band sounding, real
Got Johnny
blues
Bluehorn
album.
in there.
Oh, that'd be nice. I mean,
Who do you have in there?
It's all young guys.
yeah, we've got all
Kids
of our
our age.
friends.
Yeah,
People
okay.
from
You
high
got the
school, and
youngins.
people
Good,
from
good.
that I know, and we're trying to put it together. It's going to be almost all originals. I've written like 6 or 7 songs for that record. He's got one, and
We've got another friend who's
Yeah.
writing.
yeah,
Cool. Cool.
and so we're trying to do that. We're trying to book more gigs for the coming year. We've got a few lined up.
Do you have a manager?
No, we don't.
We
you
all
should.
kind of split the responsibilities.
You
Kind of do
if
that?
anyone
Because I
is
know you were
looking
the
to
one I was
manage
talking
us.
with on the phone all the time. Jack, hi, this is Jack. Hey.
Yeah,
Yeah.
no, he
You
handles
know, you were the one
He's-
texting.
we
First of all, I
kinda-
thought you forgot about me because when we met up in New Hampshire, it was a shame that we couldn't get you on because
Yeah.
you had to go back to school
Yeah.
within a week or so, and we couldn't get you back on. And then I hadn't heard for a while, and I said, maybe I should reach out to them. And my wife and I were down in Connecticut one day, and all of a sudden, there you were.
Yeah. I think I sent you an email and something happened to it, or
It
something
might have
like
gone
that.
into junk. I
Yeah.
get tons of
Yeah.
stuff and probably got lost. I don't remember
No, it's
getting
because
that.
we had started. So I built a website called oldsoulspencer.com, and I made booking at oldsoulspencer.com.
Okay.
And the initial few emails it's like a 50-50 shot. It would go into spam or it would go into the inbox.
Yeah.
And so I don't know if it's because it was a new email or it was a new domain, but
Do you post that out?
the website.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that's up, oldsoulspencer.com. I run the website and I run all our social media.
Cool.
And then Jack is our booking agent. He reaches out to places to book. And then Nick is,
I have the pretty face.
he's got the pretty face, he's got the big name.
I'm going to get
he
to
writes
that
all
in a
the
second,
songs.
but
pretty
we're
ugly
going to put
face.
all that information on the screen. You're going to know how to get a hold of you and all that other kind of
Yeah.
stuff. But you kind of touched upon it with the pretty face. Now, you're all young guys. You're pretty well known. So how cool is it for you guys to strut around school? And are you guys the big man on campus, especially the high school guys? You the
yeah.
big man on
Yeah,
campus, and
Well-
strutting around, beating them off with a stick or what?
I would say, not really. I mean, I've been kind of like at my school. My school is not known for its music program at all.
Uh-huh.
So it's like, oh, Sebastian, he's the the drummer guy, and so people don't really care that much.
You don't walk around with the shirt like, "Hey, I'm Sebastian. I'm the drummer guy." You don't walk around with that.
No,
shirt?
get him
I
one
mean
of
it's,
those
it's definitely cool. I tell all my friends, but it's not something like I'm like a celebrity at school listening to.
Right.
You will be
Okay.
pretty soon, though. Because we got a concert coming up with a big band, and I put a handful of drum features in there. So.
Well, good for you. I remember when I saw you guys up in New Hampshire. I mean, you look pretty slick there, man. You had your what was it? Your silver jacket on. I mean,
Yeah.
you dressed for the part on the stage.
Yeah,
And you
yeah.
guys look pretty cool right here.
Yeah,
Thank
no,
you, yeah.
I,
We got these shirts. So I went down to
When
Boston.
when do they have to go back? You just rented them for the show, right?
Yeah. We're gonna give them back
the
right
holiday,
after.
probably
actually.
by Monday,
But
you
no,
could probably get away with a weekend with them.
I went-
Thanksgiving dinner, right?
Yep.
I went down to Boston to visit some friends I have down there, and I called up Nick because he was at Berkeley, and I was just like, "Hey, you want to meet up? We're gonna hang out and then go thrift shopping." And so we met up, and we went to the Buffalo Exchange, which is a pretty big thrift store over there, and we found 5 of these shirts exactly the same.
Where is Buffalo Exchange? Where is that?
It's
Boylston Street? Or
no, it's you take the Green Line west.
Alston? Brighton? I'll look it up.
I'm not. I don't
I'm
actually
a thrift
remember.
store guy.
Yeah.
I'm a thrift
I don't
store
actually
guy.
remember.
so
I just
like
remember
that.
where it is off the T. But
Yeah.
To go for pizza at when you're at Berkeley, where do you go for pizza? There's a place right around
the
the corner.
Supremes.
Yeah.
I grew up down there.
Yeah.
What's a pizza place you go?
You
There's
put me on the
there's one
spot.
right
Yeah,
around the
what is it,
corner,
like
right where
Yeah,
the
it's Supremes.
Supreme, yeah.
Yeah.
It's right there in front of 160 Mass Ave.
Yeah, there's another one around the corner. I haven't been down there in a while, but if you're facing Berkeley, you cross the street and go around the corner like you're heading down to the Fens.
Yeah.
There was a great place there that made everything from scratch. The guy would make it in the basement, bring it up. You could watch him do the dough. I used to live down there all the time. I walked there all the time because I didn't live too far from there, But it was pretty cool. But guys, is there anything else that you want to cover, or anything that we might have missed that you want to bring up, because this is your show?
I don't think so.
I got nothing.
I don't know.
You got nothing?
Yeah, I guess I'll say thank you to everyone at the Granite State Blues Society.
Amen to that.
Thank
I was going
you
to say,
to-
give you shout outs.
Yeah.
Anybody you want to give you shout outs to?
Yeah, thank you to Mickey. Thank you to Frankie and Harrison. Thank you to Steve Gates at the Bull Run.
Steve
Oh, yeah.
Gates.
He's
Great
been,
guy.
he booked us for a couple gigs
Yeah.
the coming year.
And now,
Steve works with
so-
Matt Swanton Band, right?
Doesn't he?
He
Yeah.
works with, he was manager, I think, Matt Swanton. You know Matt?
I know
Matt
Matt,
Swanton
yeah.
Band, yeah.
Yeah.
They were on the show. They killed it on the
Yeah.
show. They were
They're
here a couple of
great.
years ago.
They're great.
They're great.
Yeah.
I missed their drummer, though. Rob.
Yeah.
Remember Rob, their drummer, Rob?
I didn't know.
Rob
I knew
is
Matt. I knew
Rob
a
is a
couple.
beast.
Yeah.
I love Rob. He's a hot ticket. Rob
Yeah.
Kogert.
Yeah.
But, shout outs, anybody?
Yeah.
Howard at the Strange.
Oh,
Brew.
Howard Randall at the Strange Brew. He was
Yeah,
awesome.
what a guy.
Yeah.
Shout outs to the One Dime Band. I don't think we
Yeah.
mentioned them at all.
No.
We mentioned them like
Little
once,
bit,
but
Well,
Yeah,
you
those
get to
They
it.
push you
fundraisers-
quite a bit. John and Paul are
They're-
two of the nicest guys.
Incredible humans.
Yeah.
And
Best
they get it,
role models.
Yeah.
and I mean they get it is that they appreciate the fans, they're supportive of other musicians, and they're just great guys, and I think they're getting better and better.
Yeah.
Their CD, all their CD is great, but their recent one, Side
yeah.
Hustle.
oh yeah, and
Side
he's on.
hustle.
He's on.
We were
one
at
of
the
songs.
live album release.
Oh,
Yeah. They just released an album.
I was
Live
there.
Hustle.
I filmed that show.
Yeah. Well, I'm on the last track of it.
I
Let Me
remember
Love
that.
You, Baby. Yeah.
Yeah, you were at the distillery.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I was there that night.
Great venue.
That was a great
It's
place.
a great album.
But guys, first of all, I want to thank you for coming all the way down.
Thank you for
Thank
having
you.
us.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Like I say, I don't make money, I made friends, and I consider myself having 3 new ones right here.
There you go.
And I don't say no, so if you want to come back sometime when you get your CD, to get that out, you want to come back again and talk some more, you're more than welcome. So thank you very much for doing that. And we're going to put all your contact information on the screen, and hopefully some good things will come from this.
All right.
And
Awesome.
I wouldn't be able to do this show without the support of my family and friends and the people here at SMAC. So being Thanksgiving, this is a perfect opportunity to thank everyone here. I want to thank Anya. I want to thank Luke. I want to thank Chris. I want to thank Caroline. and everybody here at SMAC who makes the show possible. And I also want to support and say thank you for my friends who are in the studio today. My wife Laura's in the studio. I have Beverly Dancy here. I have Bob Taccio here, Eileen Springer, Paul Hultman, all great friends of mine. So on Thanksgiving, I thank you all for your support. And I want to thank you at home for watching this show and supporting me on Facebook. And you can reach these guys on Facebook. You can reach you on
yeah.
Instagram.
Yeah.
Well, he took our Facebook background photo. I don't know if you remember
I
that.
took that. I
but-
remember that.
Yeah.
All right.
I remember
So,
that.
good
I
photo.
remember that. So, folks, I wish you all a happy Thanksgiving. I hope you are safe and you guys travel home safely.
Yeah.
And you're welcome here anytime. So, once again, I am Frank Walsh. And as always, tune in and tune on.